Hey guys, it's Channing with Dallowry, and we are so excited to walk you through our CRM. It is a white label of Go High Level. Ours is called DallowryFlow. I'm excited to show you how it works and how it might be able to benefit your business. Let's go. First of all, you might be wondering, do you even need this software? The best way that I know how to answer that question is to explain to you what this software actually does. One of the key things that DallowryFlow excels at is what's considered pipeline marketing. Now, you might be wondering, what is pipeline marketing? Basically, it's a tool that's going to allow you to move from the know, like, and trust phases of your leads. So converting them from leads into paying, buying customers. DallowryFlow has got a lot of similar features to softwares that you might be more familiar with, like Monday.com or HubSpot and things of that nature. And a lot of those softwares are really good at lead generation, which means that you're bringing people in that might be interested in the services or the product that you have to offer. And then there's some of those softwares that are also really good at tracking or creating automation. But what DallowryFlow does is it combines all of those things into one easy to use software so that you're not only bringing leads in, tracking and automating some processes, but you're also creating a custom message sequence based on the interest and the needs of that particular lead. And because those communications are tailored, what we typically see with our clients is a 37% increase in revenue within 3 months. You might be wondering, who uses DallowryFlow? And honestly, we've got a ton of different industries and a ton of different people that use our system. So we've got everything from marketing agencies themselves that use DallowryFlow systems with their clients to make sure that they're moving people through the process and handling those leads that they're generating properly. We've got marketing agencies that use it for their own business as well. We've got everything from plumbers to window cleaners to property maintenance to real estate to operations to, literally, you name it, and DallowryFlow's worked with it. The great thing is these systems are completely customizable to what you need to do for your business. Therefore, we think any industry is a good fit for DallowryFlow. Before we dive in, just so you know who I am just a little bit, my name's Channing Gardner. I'm the founder of Dallowry and the creator of DallowryFlow and all of our templates that we offer. Really, I'm a small business owner. I got started, I opened an insurance brokerage in 2020, and I just got sick of moving CRMs and softwares every single month over month. And by the time I'd spent 80 plus hours building out systems, only to have to move every 2 months as my business grew and I needed more systems, I finally sat down and looked at, what am I actually paying for all of the softwares that I'm using? And it was coming out to over $500 a month. And so at that point, I decided that there's a gap in the market and small businesses are not being taken care of. It's either costing too much money or there's not enough features. And so I figured, why not be the solution? That's when we founded DallowryFlow, and we worked with Go High Level to create DallowryFlow systems, processes, templates, and all of the bells and whistles that come with it. Our plans start at $20 a month, and our biggest plan possible is $150. We really pride ourselves on being affordable and accessible to anybody, especially in the small business realm, because that's our heart and passion. That's who we are too. My husband and I also own several different companies, and every single one of them we use every single day inside of DallowryFlow. And what's great is it allows us a lot of flexibility between all of the different systems. So each time that we log in as one of our different companies, it never looks the same, but the system works exactly how we need it to for that particular company. So even just ourselves personally, we use it for an insurance brokerage, we use it for a maintenance company, we use it for a video podcast, and we use it for Dallowry, which is our marketing and business optimization company. Every single one of those uses DallowryFlow on a daily basis, and 90% of our work actually happens inside of DallowryFlow, which makes it so much easier than logging into multiple different things and trying to track things across multiple different softwares. So the goal of this video is to explain what DallowryFlow is and how you can get started quickly. If you have any other questions, please drop a comment. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll be doing a ton more videos, especially walkthrough tutorials for you and our audience and our users. We're excited to get started. First things first, I want to briefly go over our different plans and what is offered. I'm going to go through each one of them over here and drop them in this video. Every single one of our plans come with our CRM, two-way text and email communication, Google My Business text messaging, web chat HTML integration, reputation management, Facebook Messenger integration, Google My Business call tracking, missed call text back, and text to pay. Gives you a really good starting point no matter which plan is the best for you. First, let's go over our limited access plan. This plan starts at only $20 a month. It not only comes with everything we just went over, but it also comes with invoicing. It's very similar to HoneyBook. With us, there's no long-term contracts though. So it's month to month, and we hope that you stay for a long time, but if it ends up not being a good fit, we want you to be able to leave quickly as well. The next plan we'll list over here. It's our standard plan. This one is $99 a month. It includes all of the features that we've already talked about, including calendar, all reporting, workflow automations, websites, funnels, which are unlimited, triggers, SMS and email templates. We have over 1,500 of those, email marketing, blogs, opportunities, surveys, forms, trigger links, and even a social planner for you to pre-schedule out all your social media posting. Next, and our last and final option is our professional plan. It comes with everything that the standard plan comes with, but it also includes memberships, invoicing, proposals and estimates, and an affiliate manager. That gives you a ton of different features. Our goal is that you grow into DallowryFlow and you continue to be able to expand as your business grows. And here's one of the most important features, at least in my opinion. There's unlimited users and unlimited contacts on any of our plans. So you can stop paying per seat pricing. As we go through this video, if you at any point want to start a 14-day free trial with us, there's a link below this video that you can get started. The only plan that doesn't come with a free trial is our limited access plan. So that one will charge you immediately for the $20, but any of our other plans are 14-day free trial. So try out a higher level. And if you decide you don't need it, bump down to the $20 a month. Now, there are a ton of features inside of DallowryFlow. So we're going to walk you through the proper order as we go through this video, because diving into it, there's just a ton of information and it can feel really overwhelming, especially because we do add typically 5 to 7 new features every single week. So if you're watching this and this is really outdated, there's even more than what we've already covered today. Let's get started. First and foremost, let's learn how to capture leads inside of DallowryFlow. So first, let's go over every place that you can capture leads inside of DallowryFlow. And then once we've learned how to capture them, we'll show you later what to do with them. Most of our lead capturing is going to happen inside of the sites section. So first, we're going to go to sites over here in this left-hand menu. And inside of this, you'll see we've got a ton of options already off the bat. We've got funnels, websites, blogs, client portal, forms, surveys, chat widget, media, URL redirects. At first glance, you might think it's the funnels and websites that are capturing your leads, but actually it's going to be your forms and surveys because that's what's actually collecting the client's information. First, let's look at one of our forms that collects information. So we're going to go to forms and then builder. And then let's just look at the affiliate form, which brings up people that are interested in the affiliate registration for DallowryFlow. It's going to include their name, their email, their phone, and a website if they have one. And then it's going to ask them to confirm that they are okay with receiving communication from us. And then it's going to have them apply. So you can create all kinds of intake forms and you can name them whatever you'd like. You can make them super fun as well. So let's look at some of ours that are color coordinated. And here's one that has multiple steps inside of it. And we've got custom colors down here. Inside of this, it's all just drag and drop. So if I need to update something, I can simply drag and drop that piece of information in. I can also create custom fields, which really allow me to tailor the system based on the company or the needs that I have for this particular form in general. On the custom fields, you've got several different options. What kind of information are you needing to collect? And the more specified you can be, the better it's going to be for the user experience and for you when you're trying to find the information that you're needing. So you've got several different text options, values, and then also some drop downs, date pickers, and you can even do file upload and signatures as well. As far as customizing these, you can now even do conditional, where you can say, if this, then deny. You can disqualify a lead. You can display a custom message based on a particular response. You can also redirect them to a different URL at the end if you'd like. You can customize the design by simply clicking on the styles. You can pick a particular theme that's already pre-built for you, or you can go into the options and edit your ending message, your font, your colors, all of that good stuff. The reason why we build forms inside of forms versus building them directly into the funnel is so that we can attach them into the funnel, but we can use them in several different places. So for instance, on our affiliate funnel, if we go to our funnel section and we go to our affiliate program, when we click into this website and we go to edit it, we can see here that here's all the information. And right here, it's going to open the pop-up, and the pop-up settings include our form that is the Become an Affiliate form. This allows us to use it across multiple different screens without having to rebuild the form every single time. It also allows us to track where that customer came into our system from, because each form will actually record an event inside of the contacts information. The other great thing about building inside of forms is this is a one-step template. So all I have to do if I want to update the color of the form or the button of the form is come to this one link. I can simply make the change here and it will automatically put it everywhere that this form is. And so I can really easily update this to be our brand colors without having to go and change it on multiple different places. Now this will automatically update everywhere that this form is. And we can verify that by coming back to funnels, going back to our affiliate program, and just simply checking it out and looking at this pop-up setting here. And now you see that button turned from green to our branded colored maroon. So as far as adding a form onto a landing page, it's super simple. Really quick, let me just show you how easy it is to start a new funnel. So we're going to go back to our funnel and home. I'm going to hit new funnel here in this top right-hand side. I'm going to start it from blank and we're going to name this one example. And we're just going to start it from scratch. Now we do have over 1,000 templates on our funnels. When we click inside of this example, it's going to ask us to get started with a step. We're going to simply name this one home and create a path with the / before it. I'm going to create from blank. And all we're going to do right now is we're going to add a form. So first I need to tell it what type of section do I want. Right now I'm wanting to add a full width. You tell it in your row how many columns you want. We're just going to do 1. And then you add the element. Inside the element, we're just going to add the form. And this is searchable. So all we need to do is affiliate program registration. And now it will add that form into this section. Oh, I selected the wrong one. Affiliate registration. There we go. There's that form. Now inside of these are all drag and drop. It's very, very easy to work with. So you can see all those different sections that we just added here whenever I move my mouse up and down. And I can change the padding or the distance between all of these using this right-hand menu right here. So I can really shrink these things up if I don't want a lot of spacing, or I can make them way larger based on the selections that I'm wanting. I can move it around on the screen this way. So all of these are just drag and drop slide decks that are really easy to work with. Now, the same exact process applies to surveys. So if we come to surveys and we click on any of the surveys that we have, the nice thing is these are one question at a time or several questions at a time, but they do display more as cards. So if we go to preview mode here and we look, all it does is once something is selected, it moves on. And again, if it's too small of text or anything like that, we can come here to the options and we can update the font size down here at the bottom. And we're going to change the short label to 16, placeholder to 16, and label to 24. That makes it a lot easier to read. Now, when we go to this preview mode here, the text will be larger and we can still flow through the form. in the same fashion. And then at the very end here, it has all the information. Now, what happens if you don't have your funnel or website inside of DallowryFlow? Although that is how I recommend, it gives you a lot more control. If you do already have a website, you can simply choose to integrate any of these elements by embedding with the HTML embed code right here. This is also available on your forms as well. If we go back out to forms and let's just look at that same affiliate registration, we can integrate by simply sharing the form as a link, or we can customize these options here and up and down here, and then it'll generate a custom embed code for us to use on a website of our choice. Another type of form that we have available is our chat widget. So this you've seen like the help requests and things like that in the bottom right hand of several websites that you visit on a daily basis. Here you get to design and build your own. So you can have an intro message. It does either enable or disable the little chat bubble. You can edit this to your liking. You can also have it where it is a live chat, or you can do an SMS or email chat. So either way, you can select how you'd like to communicate there. It also will allow you to customize the widget window and acknowledgement settings, so they do have to opt in or out. What then happens is you can embed this form by getting the code here, and all you have to do is paste this into your website, or if you're using a website inside of DallowryFlow, it's just a simple option. You say, yes, I want a chat widget, and it automatically embeds this code for you. Now, you might be wondering, that's great, but what happens when somebody fills out a form or a lead comes into the system? There are two places that the lead can pop up. If they're coming through a chat widget, which is a conversation, they're going to pop up here in your conversations tab, which manages all of the conversations from anything that you integrate with DallowryFlow, including Facebook Messenger, Google My Business, your website, your email, and anything like that. So it's all in one place, really nice and tight. The other place that it's going to generate is inside your contacts list. So when somebody comes and fills out a form and you can click inside of there, you have all that person's information from any of the form information that they filled out to submit it. There is another place that leads can come into your system, and that is going to be in our memberships. Now, these are online courses that you can create and then sell or offer for free. But when people register for your courses, it will attach their information here as well. Inside of our memberships, we've also now launched our communities, which is amazing. So you can create custom communities, which will pull the conversation out from social media, like places like Facebook, LinkedIn, and make it a more private conversation. People can ask to join your group, or it can be by invite only. You can have these communities as paid, or you can leave them as free. It's really customized to whatever you'd like to do. To show you how quickly you can launch one of these courses, let's come here to dashboard and we're going to go to our products. Let's create a new product. Let's make it a sprint course. Let's call it example. And we're going to create. This will preset a template for you, which then you can come in and adjust. It gives you the recommended number of steps for the type of course that you have as well. But now if I come in and we can either clone this, we can share it, we can delete it, but also we can come in and we can create an offer now. We're going to drop it down to offer. We're going to create an offer. We're going to name this one, you guessed it, example. And we're going to attach it to the example product. We're going to make this a one-time fee of $10, and we're going to set it live and we're going to create. Just like that, we have our product created. So now when people purchase this product, they'll go through a checkout, which again is another lead capture, gives us their name, email information, whatever form information we've asked for on that particular checkout. There's a few different ways for you to get your course out. You can embed it. We have a situation on our website where we actually like to view it as a solution and then have tabs that are actually buttons that go directly to the courses. So you can choose to opt this way, or the other option that we have to get our courses out there is to actually make these live. So we're going to mark this as published. And then we're going to save. We're going to get the link, copy. We're going to come over here and paste it. And now here is another form that's going to collect the information for the course that we have created. We've already gone over several different places for you to collect information and create forms, but we are not even done yet. Just like we showed you with our courses that we actually have listed on a website where people can check out, let's show you how we did that. We're going to go to sites and we're going to go into our Dallowry funnels again. Here we're going to go to our Dallowry Hub courses. And the way that we have this connected inside of here is actually a checkout form. And so when people click on these particular buttons, it's going to open the pop-up. And inside of our pop-up on this site, we have an order form. So they can select what coursework that they want. And inside of here, we're collecting name, email, and phone number as well. Let's go over how you add an order form into a funnel in just a few steps. We're going to go back to our example funnel that we built by clicking on the name. First, we need to tell it what products we want attached to this. So we just created the example product, the example price, and then you can even have additional options. You can allow people to buy multiples of them. You can create bump products. So we're going to hit save here. And then we're going to also add a bump product. So let's use, we'll just pick a random one. We'll do custom website membership. We're going to do a 5-page, and this one we're going to make a bump product. It does need a $1 custom authorization. Now we're going to come back into our overview here, and we're going to go back into the actual website. Now I'm going to delete our form because we already went over how to add that. I'm going to add a new element, and this time we're going to do a checkout. So we either have a 2-step order or a 1-step order. For now, let's just do the 1-step order. It puts everything in one screen where there's not a second step for the customer. And then here, all we have to do is hit advanced and we can edit the information. So we can change what this says and this. We can show or hide the company name. We can change that information. We can show or hide the phone number. We can show or hide the shipping. We can change this and this and this and this. Also this. Check this out. We can even do a subtext. We can enable a postal code or not. We can enable cart mode, which just allows them to add more than one product or not. We can have a product description or not. Here's where you'd add your bump product. So you'd say, I want to add this, the custom website membership, $30 a month. And here is what that would look like. So now that we've got our bump product added, you can see that the wording, if I wanted to change that, all I need to do is come in and pencil and I can adjust the wording on these. But for now, I'm going to preview. And now you can see we've got our product here that's automatically selected. And we've got our custom membership here as well. It's collecting whatever information you're wanting to collect. And then they would check out after they put in their card information. All right, another place that we can collect leads and their information is social media DMs or direct messages. So if we come into our marketing and our social planner, there's a few different ways that we connect things. So we've got our different social medias accounted right here that are connected. But if we hit this little settings tab, and we go inside, we can connect with Google My Business, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok, with more coming as well. You can also go into your settings tab, and here under integrations, I highly recommend you connect with your Google account, your Google My Business, and your Facebook and Instagram as well. And your TikTok, you can have lead forms. And now we even do LinkedIn lead forms if you have a LinkedIn ad account. So now when people message my Google My Business listing, my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of those things, they're all going to populate here in the conversations tab. And so what that looks like now is you can see that these are coming in through text, through email, through a phone call, and they'll have each little symbol for wherever that lead is actually generating from. But now it's all in one place, so you are not having to log into several different social media platforms to communicate quickly and efficiently. One of the most powerful things that comes from connecting your Google My Business listing is you can actually attach it directly to your reviews, which means that you can automate to send out reviews, but you can also respond to reviews inside of DallowryFlow without having to log into Google My Business or any other platform. Your Facebook reviews also come here. And now there is even a review AI that can actually respond back to your reviews if they meet certain criteria, which is huge because now you get those within 2 minutes. It's going to respond to anything that's 5 stars for us with this particular message, which allows Google to see that we're very interactive with the people that are providing reviews. Anything below a 5 star, it's going to alert us still so that we can respond to that personally and we can fix whatever the issue was as to why we did not receive a 5-star review from that client. Another reason why the Google My Business integration is so huge is because if you see now, you can see Google My Business messages. Now Google has the ability where people, when they're searching, can actually text your business. And now in today's world, people don't want to call, they don't want to have to email necessarily. They like that instant gratification. And so being able to text directly from your Google My Business listing is going to be a huge way for you to capture more leads that are already there. They just didn't have the preferred communication that they were looking for previously. Yet another way that you can collect leads and put them into our DallowryFlow system is by phone numbers. So you see here the Google My Business call tracking is enabled. If we come here to this phone numbers tab inside of our settings, we can actually purchase phone numbers. You'll notice that for us, we have several different phone numbers. And what these phone numbers allow us to do is to have several different phone numbers listed that are all flowing into our personal phone numbers without us having to publish our personal phone numbers live. So we do have a toll-free number for texting. And then here you can see that we've got one named for me, one named for my husband, one that is our main line, and one that is literally just a demo of our missed call text back program. Each of these phone numbers cost roughly $1.22 all the way to $2.44 for a one-time setup. And then communication fees from there are as cheap as a fraction of a penny per text and per minute. Now, when anybody calls any of our numbers that we've purchased here, it will actually populate inside of the conversations tab, which is so helpful because now it allows us to track who's calling and why. And so it allows us to keep track of that communication so we can reach out more efficiently. You can also even allow it to record your conversation. So if this was a 20-minute phone call, it would have actually recorded the entire call, which is huge if you have any kind of salespeople that are working for you or people in training, or just to make sure that everybody is doing exactly what they need to be doing and saying it exactly how they should be saying it. One of the other ways that you can communicate and capture leads inside of DallowryFlow is from email. So you can see this @ symbol here. This is meaning that this is from an email, and I can actually communicate back and forth inside of DallowryFlow without ever having to leave. But it's nice because it allows other people to pick up the conversation. So if my admin team, I need to pass something off, they can know exactly what's happened inside of that conversation. And it's a really smooth transition on passing the baton. The other place that you can go is if you go here to settings and then my profile, you can actually scroll down and do a 2-way email sync, which I have done. So it doesn't matter if emails are coming in or out, they're always going to be reflected inside of the DallowryFlow account, which again, just makes it easier for passing off and making sure that all the communication is kept up with and managed properly by the team. If you use any kind of TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn lead as well, if you go into your integrations section of your settings, you've probably noticed this TikTok and LinkedIn, we briefly covered it, but up here at the top, you can actually do form field mapping. So if you are running ads for Facebook, TikTok, or LinkedIn, and you have a form attached to those ads, anytime they actually fill out those forms, it will automatically connect it into your DallowryFlow system. So at this point, you're probably impressed by the number of ways that you can collect leads. But you probably have questions like, well, how is this actually going to help me save any kind of time? I feel like you just threw a whole bunch at me that I'm now going to have to manage, and it's just even more to keep up with. And that, my friends, is where automation comes in. Now, before we get there, let's make sure we've got our pipelines set up correctly, because pipelines are going to be a really big trigger point to make sure that you know exactly where that lead is so that you know exactly what message to send them. Let's get started. So all of your pipelines are going to be found in your opportunities tab. Now, if you're wondering what a pipeline is just a series of steps or actions that a lead or a client takes leading up to, during, and after a sale. You can get as direct or indirect as you want to on these. So you can create as many pipelines as you want. We've got some for particular products that we have like management, so we know exactly where that project timeline is. We have others that are just new leads and missed call text back. Now you can have your opportunity stages based on the actual stage. Like for instance, this one is prospect, discovery, closing, onboarding, very, very simplified. Or you can have them based on communications. You could have a DM column, a DM stage that your goal every single day is to make sure that you're not done with the day until that column is completely empty, meaning that all your DMs have been responded to. You can also make them based on project timelines. So prospect qualification, discovery, proposal, negotiation, closing, onboarding, landing page creation, review, and delivery. So these can get as long or as short and tight as you'd like them to be. The goal is just to customize it so that you can look at this, a big overview, and know exactly what's happening inside your organization at each of the different stages and points of contact. So for us, we want as many people cleared out of this as possible so that we know exactly where they are in the process. Now, to move somebody into the next opportunity, all we have to do is move them down the line. We can click inside of this opportunity. We can also update this information. So we can say this client was one. We can assign them to a particular user inside of our system. We can also add followers where maybe I own it, but Ben is making sure that it's up to date. So I have him as a follower so he gets the alerts about this opportunity. We can see how she came in. She actually used our chat widget inside of the website to get the information. And we can create any kind of tags that we'd like to as well. So we're going to hit update here. And what's cool is now when we exit this, if we were to, let's say, go back out and go back in or refresh, now you see she's gone. Well, that's because we're filtering right here, which also means that we can have custom views of anything going on at any time. So if we close out of that, we can see here that we did have more. It just, when we filter by the status, the owner, or any of these things, it's going to adjust what is being viewed because of the filter that we've placed on it. One of the cool features to keep in mind is when you're setting up your pipelines and you go into adjusting it, you can move any of these situations up and down. You can customize them, name them whatever you'd like. You can make this visible or not visible in the pie chart, or you can get micro and say only particular steps are visible in the pie and the funnel chart. And the reason why that's important is your dashboard will show what you asked it to show. So here we can go into our, let's go to Dallowry memberships, DallowryFlow memberships. We can see here the prospects, just who's in discovery, who's closing, who's onboarding, and who's been won. We can also see the stage distribution. And so that gives us a bird's eye view. We can see our tasks, manual tasks, but here in our opportunity status, we can even see our conversion rate based on the history of the deals coming in. Have we won or have we lost them? Which shows us what the health of the organization as a whole is and our effectiveness in marketing and communicating with our potential leads. To make sure you stay on top of all your communications, the pipelines are going to help you make sure that that is organized and concise for you to see. But also in conversations, we recommend you always come to this unread tab. It's going to only show you the information that has been unread or unanswered to. And so keeping a tight and cleared out unread section is going to make sure that your organization is communicating with everybody that's coming in quickly and efficiently. Now, as far as getting people into your pipelines, that, my friends, is where the automation comes in. This is one of my favorite parts. Buckle up. So to make sure that we have everything that we need, we're actually going to finish building out the example funnel real quick. We're going to build an example calendar. I'm going to go into create a calendar. I'm just going to make this a simple calendar. The calendar has all kinds of different functions. You can write a description. You can have a custom slug. Meeting duration, when you're available, meeting location, you can accept payments. You can even go to advanced features and get even more. You can attach a logo. You can name the calendar like we've done, write a description. You can create groups of calendars, which is super helpful. If you've got several different types, but they're all technically related, I would create a group for that. Contact name. This is going to actually insert the person whose booking's name, and then whatever the appointment is, that's what I would name after it. You can custom color code it. You can make your availability either custom, where it's particular days and times, or a standard set calendar. You can make it a recurring meeting, all these different settings. Forms and payments, you have a consent checkbox. I recommend that because they are providing your contact information to you. And so you want to make sure you have authorization to communicate with them. You can edit how you accept payments if you want to have them pay for the meeting. Mark it live. Notifications, connections if you want it to look at a particular calendar, and customization. So for now, we're just going to hit save. And we're going to go back to our funnel. So again, we're going to go sites, funnel. We're going to go to our example. We've got our home page. We're going to add a step called booking. And then we're going to add a step called thank you. Now on our booking page, the only thing we're going to use is we're going to put in our calendar. So we're going to do a full width section. We're going to add a 1-column row, and we're going to add our calendar. So we're going to come down here, add an element, calendar. The calendar that we're going to add is example. It's going to populate that calendar for us, and we're going to save. And we've already got our product attached. We're ready for the next step. All right, now that we've got our sections built out, let's make sure we've got a pipeline to connect this automation to as well. So in order to do that, we're going to go to our opportunities section, pipelines, and we're going to create a new pipeline. We're going to do example, initial contact, responded, lost, and won. Again, you can name these whatever you'd like. We're going to remove all of them from the pies and the funnels just for this purpose. All right, we're going to go to our automation section. You can see we love automations, especially because inside of each one of these folders is several automations itself. So we're going to go to create workflow here in the top right corner. As you can see, there's tons of recipes so that you don't have to know where to start. You can go ahead and just get started from one of the recipes and edit it. But to show you how easy this is, I'm going to show you how to start from scratch. And we're going to name this, you guessed it, example automation. Now, automations are composed of triggers and events. One key tip is anytime you're building inside a DallowryFlow, when you see this little green dot over on the right-hand side at the top, it means you have unsaved work. So we're going to go ahead and save. And the last thing that we need to build is actually a form for our people to fill it out. So we're going to go to our form builder, affiliate forms, and I'm just going to copy this. So all I'm going to do is hit duplicate. I'm going to make it example form. And for this, I'm going to come in, I'm going to delete some of these fields just so we can move a little bit faster. We're going to save. And we're going to go back to our example funnel, and we're going to change out that order form to our contact form. Add an element, form, example, populated. We're going to save. All right, so let's say that our form is a contact information form that is on your website. So when we're building out our automation, I'm going to come find the automation that we started, which is called example automation. And here at the top, we have to tell it what's the first trigger. How is this thing getting recognized to start? So we're going to go to form submitted, and we're going to tell it what form. Form is the example form. Save trigger. Now it knows when to put somebody into the automation series that we're going to build out. Once this form is submitted, we need to create and update an opportunity. That way it goes into that funnel that we just built. So in the pipeline example, and we're going to make it initial contact. We're going to name this just the person's name. So these little tags are your custom fields. So if we hit contact full name, and then opportunity source, this is going to be our example funnel, because that's the only place, or that's where this funnel and this form is coming from. Lead value, we're going to leave blank because we don't have an appointment with them. We don't know what service they're wanting yet for this particular case. Now, if you have a service or something that is a particular value and that's what they're filling out the form for, go ahead and put the lead value here if you'd like, or you can save it for the appointment stage. Status is going to be open. And I like to allow opportunities to move to any previous stage in pipeline. For this one, you could also allow duplicate opportunities. So if it's like a sponsorship for an event, but you've got multiple events per year and you might have somebody that sponsors several times, you'd want to allow duplicate opportunities. And I like to name these. So we're going to update example pipeline. Because when we name them at the top, that's what actually gets named here. So it gives me a much cleaner, high-level view of what's going on inside of this automation. Now let's say that you want a text message going to the client confirming that you did receive the information. So we're going to hit the plus sign, and this time we're going to scroll to our communication. And communication here, as long as it's not internal is to your team. This SMS is to the person out. So we're going to say, this is the confirmation SMS. And you could create a template. We've got several templates ourselves that we use. But for this case, let's pretend that you do not have a template. We're going to say, hey, and we're going to use the contact's first name. And we can say something like, thank you so much for requesting more information about, and you can even, if you don't want to type out your location name, you can do location name there. That way, if you update your name or change it in any way, it's going to automatically update it here. Yeah, we can just leave it that way. I always recommend that you sign off. And again, you could use location name there. And then for compliance purposes, you're going to want to put reply stop to unsubscribe. And then we're going to save. Now it says confirmation SMS. What's cool too is if you have this stats view turned on up here, you can actually see high level what was delivered, what was clicked, and what failed. If you wanted to feel more like a human, you can even do another SMS. And then you can say, what day of the week works best for us to sit down and chat. And say to add another level of that human touch, we're going to add a wait step in here. So if we put wait, we've got several different things, but we're going to do a time delay, and we're going to do a 0.5 minutes, which means about 30 seconds. I like to do an advanced window on most communication. When it's coming from a form, though, that person is live because they just filled out the form. So we don't need an advanced window here. And we're going to save the action. So now it'll text 30 seconds later. It'll ask when's the best day to follow up. We're going to go ahead and save and move on. Now let's look at a more advanced automation that's going to help move the people through your pipeline automatically. So from here, we're already adding them to the pipeline, right? But now we're waiting and to see if they've responded. So we're going to add another wait step here, and we're going to wait for the contact to reply. And that reply is going to be on the confirmation or the follow-up SMS. We're also going to have a timeout, and let's do it for a 1 hour. Or no, let's do 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Wait for reply or 30 minutes. And then we're going to add an if-then condition. If-thens just help qualify, disqualify, and have more tailored approaches to each individual lead based on what is actually happening. So we're going to put replied on this branch, and we're going to say contact replied is true. And we're going to save. Now I like to do another if-then condition. And we're going to do a positive response, and contact reply intent type is positive, save. So now it's going to say, did they reply? If they replied, was it positive or was it negative? So our next step is to update the pipeline based on what just happened. So if they responded positively, then we need to create or update the opportunity. We're still going to be in the same pipeline, but now we're going to move to our responded stage, right? And then this, we don't need to name because it's going to automatically carry those names over. We're still going to leave it to open, and we're still going to allow them to move to any stage. Then on the none, it's still going to be creating and updating the opportunity because they still did respond. But maybe we say here that we lost them, because now we can segment those people that didn't respond positively, but they did respond. And then here, none, we're going to create and update an opportunity, same pipeline, but this time we're going to say lost and status lost. And actually, I would consider that abandoned, not lost. Not only can we update the opportunity based on what is happening, we can also update what happens in the communication. So here, if they have no response, then we're going to do another SMS. And this time we'll just say contact full name, ? Save action. And I want to rename that to second reach out SMS. All right, now here's a trick. If you want to copy this section, this if then what we can do is we can hit copy action, and we're going to put it here. And then we're going to also copy action and put it here. Now, instead of having to rebuild this entire section, I'm going to hit a go to, which just says that, hey, if they land on this branch, then they need to go to there. So now that we've got that connected, you'll see the line coming from the replied, if they do finally reply, all the way up back here, and then it'll continue to follow down these branches instead of having to rebuild the entire system from scratch. All right, so now how do we move the person into the one column? What do we consider one? We consider one an appointment booked in this particular pipeline. So if you remember, in our funnel of our example funnel, we've got the initial step. So this is how they're coming into this automation. They're filling out the form, but the next step is they're booking an appointment, right? So for our automation, once they have won that first opportunity is the form, the second opportunity is the booking of the appointment. So if I'm trying to track whether they've booked an appointment or not, we need to also factor in how long it would maybe take them to book the appointment. So up here, when they first come in this funnel, we're going to hit wait, and we're going to do a time delay, and we're going to do 2 minutes. And we're going to save. And I like to number my automations so I can see at what point the lead is coming into the system or when they're not. Now I'm going to create a secondary workflow. And this workflow, I'm also going to start from scratch. And this is going to be 2. And let's get started building this one. All right, so now we need to trigger based on an appointment booked. So customer booked an appointment, and we need to tell it in what calendar. The calendar is going to be example. And we're going to save that. And then if we come back to our original workflow that we were building for the example, then right here when it's waiting, we don't really need it to text them and ask them when a good time is if they've already booked an appointment. So we're going to do an if-else condition here, and we're going to say booked appointment. And here we're going to have it look for workflow contact is active in, and then we're going to do example automation 2. And then we're going to save. Now, in order to make sure that it's waiting, this is going to wait 2 minutes and then look. So here, I'm going to have it add a wait 5 minutes in this booking thing, right? So here we need to create and update the opportunity. This is going to be example in what pipeline. This one we're considering 1, they booked an appointment. Status 1. Allow to move, save action, and then we're going to wait 5 minutes. And that just makes sure that when this first automation is looking, that lead is still in the booking automation if they were in it, if they did in fact book. So now if they booked an appointment, we don't need it to do all this stuff. So we're actually going to move all actions from here and move, because these only need to go out if they did not respond or they did not book an appointment, right? So then here we can add a third workflow automation, and I would just use a recipe card for this. So this is when I would use create workflow. We're going to do a appointment booking. We can also do appointment confirmation and reminder, all the way to appointment confirmation, reminder, survey, and review request. Let's use a simple one though, just a confirmation. And this one is going to be 3. And this appointment event type normal, point status, but we need to tell it in calendar example. Confirmation email. It'll input all this information for you. If you don't want it to be in Zoom, you'd retype this or just delete it. Save. It's going to wait until 24 hours before the appointment. It's going to wait 1 minute. So you just come in and edit these messages to be what you would like them to be, or delete ones if you don't want them 5 minutes before as well. So now that we know the appointment has been booked, we're going to actually put in this example automation. It's going to come and say, did they book the appointment? Oh, they already booked the appointment. And then we're going to add, we don't need to add them into the workflow because they'll automatically be added into the workflow. Now, if they did not book the appointment, then we would need to create the workflow. We're going to use another scratch. We're going to use this appointment booking. Here, the appointment prompt. Let's take advantage of our offer. The next step is to book a quick consultation call. We're going to go ahead and save. And this is actually going to send out the calendar. So the calendar link here, we're actually going to grab from the calendar that we created. So if we go back to our calendars and back into our calendar settings, I'm going to find the example calendar. And when I click these 3 little dots, I can copy this scheduling link. And that's just going to copy it to my clipboard for me to then come into this automation and paste it. So this is going to be 3 example automation. And the booking link right here that we're needing is actually going to be this one. save action. And we're going to change it here as well. And this one, if they respond, it'll actually tell you how they responded. And we're going to save. So that is an extremely simple complex. These can get really, really simple or really, really complicated. And it's all just based on the action that you actually want the client to experience, the flow that you want that client to experience, or the series of emails and communications. And what I love is the if then and if else conditions, because what that's going to do is it's not going to send generic messages that aren't actually relevant to what that lead is experiencing or what they're actually interested in. It's going to tailor the communication just like a human would to make sure that client is receiving the communication that is most helpful for them.